As we start to put the domestic seasons across Europe to bed, focus switches to the European competitions. Of course, we've still got the small matter of the Europa League to decide. Let's get into it. That's right, folks, back once again with another prediction show. Today we're taking a look at the Europa League, wherever we are in the old competition. We'll get to it in just 1 second. If you're new to the channel, smash your subscribe button to keep me bang up to date with all things Europa League related, Blackburn Rovers related, whoa, football related. We got it all here, boys, and the one Rufsky, of course. So yeah, I think it's still the last 16 second legs, but some of them haven't even played the first legs. We'll talk more about that in just a second. But I want a big shout out, oh yeah, to the Patreons for supporting the channel. Oh, there, the Dirty Dozen. Respect to you all for supporting the channel. It is a tall order, and I do appreciate it. It puts a smile on my face. It gives me the mojo, and hopefully it'll all lean towards getting better quality content, and of course better quality equipment to make that content, all that kind of stuff. If anybody else is out there and wants to join the Dirty Dozen, there is a link down in the old description, patreon.com/roverseas, and maybe, just maybe, it might be on the screen right about now, of course. So check that bad boy out if you want to support the channel in another way. They are perks and privileges. They're not the greatest, but I'm going to be revamping them once I can get these bad boys done and dusted. But let's remind ourselves, of course, of what's going on in the Europa League. So here we are, boys and girls, taking a look at the Europa League once again. It's been a long time. It's been a long time. So let's remind ourselves, of course, we did our own predictions, of course, and so did you guys. We'll get to them in just a second. But just to remind ourselves of the criteria, 0 to 1, that's right. If you just get 1 or none right, you're in the shit-faced gang, boys. You get 2 to 4, you're in the straight-faced club, and 5 plus gets you in the top banana. There was only, I think, 6 games completed. So you're going to have to be on your game to get to top banana. And unfortunately, I was not on my game. So this is the situation heading into it, of course. All teams still alive at some stage. This is the one side of the bracket which, well, in actual fact, no sides of the bracket got completed, of course, and this is the other side of the bracket as it stands. And we'll talk more about the teams and ifs, nats, and what's and maybes in just a second. But let's recap ourselves, or remind ourselves of those first legs. Of course, Wolfsburg, that's my prediction here. I went with a 2-0 win over Shakhtar Donetsk, but unfortunately, Shakhtar picked up a victory, 2-1 win in the end to give themselves the upper hand. So we got that bad boy wrong. Frankie, I also went with them, 3-1 winners over Basel, but again, I got that one wrong, and it looks like Basel are in the driving seat as it stands with a comfortable 3-0 win as well. Into the back end of that bracket, of course, Inter Milan and Getafe, that didn't take place. I did go with the 2-1 win for Inter Milan, but it was, of course, cancelled, and that will now be a one-legged affair with everything all on the line on that bad boy. On the back end of it is Rangers against Bayern. That ended up, well, in my eyes, I wanted a 1-1 draw, or I expected a 1-1 draw. 3-1 it was for Bayern. Of course, the Bundesliga outfit are in the driving seat on that one. So on that side of things, I did shit. Absolutely shit. Now to the other side of the bracket, of course, Manchester United put on a nice display against LASK, 5-0 in the end. I actually went with a 3-1 win, so not too shabby, boys and girls. And then, of course, for Copenhagen, they took on Başakşehir of Turkey. That ended up as a 2-0 win, and I got that one pretty close to the money. 1-0 was the final score on that. Not too shabby. And then at the back end of this one, what do they call themselves? Olympiacos. I actually went with a 2-0 win for Wolves over Olympiacos, but it actually ended at 1-1. Got the right amount of goals, but ultimately wrong. And again, just like the Inter Milan game, Sevilla and Roma did not take place. I went with a 2-1 win, and again, it will be a one-legged affair. So I got myself 2, which squeezes in, I believe, into the old straight-face gang, I think. Yeah, I'm going to give myself a straight-face gang on that bad boy. What about you guys then? Let's take a look at what happened on the old prediction front then. Let's get into it. Gamer Girl, she predicted both legs here, but unfortunately just the one leg took place. She did okay for herself. Harrison Crane, we'll get to you in a minute. Bossio Mata did absolute gash. They're going to come in random order, I do apologise. Bossio Mata, shit. Harrison Crane, not too shabby. Suiyar QPR did okay for himself. Sachin Daplavzid did alright. Yannick Bustler, not too shabby. Savic Celtic also did okay. Supercost Legend, he just predicted who he thought will go through. So I'm not gonna warrant that one, of course, with a smiley or not. He needs to make that effort. Of course, if you want to make extra effort next season, we are going to be doing the Europa League in the Prediction League. What's all that about? I am behind the times, and I need to do an introduction to the Prediction League video. But this will be part of the its own little Prediction League as well. We're going to do it from the group stages onwards. The qualifying is going to be separate. It's just going to be a feeler, getting the feel of things. and then of course it all takes place after that. So make sure to bang the old subscribe button and bang the little bell so you don't miss a beat, boy. And while you're at it, if you're banging a lot of stuff, cheeky, you might as well bang the old thumbs up, boys and girls, to give this video a bit of love. So let's get into it then. Of course, a recap of the bracket breakdown here. Couple of teams are in the driving seat, and a lot of teams have got work to do. So let's get into it. We're going to start with, of course, Wolfsburg up against Shakhtar Donetsk. The first leg is a 2-1 win for Shakhtar. Now this leg, of course, will be played in Ukraine. Of course, these two sides have only met the once, and that was a win for Shakhtar Donetsk. Heading into this, though, Ukraine, are they still playing? I think they might be still playing, or they think this season might be just about done. I don't know. Yeah, it is done. It actually ended on the 19th of July, and they ended it with a 2-2 draw up against Alexandria. Before that, though, they actually won 4 of the past 5 games. The only hiccup was a draw against Zoira back at the end of June. Meanwhile, of course, out in the Bundesliga, they've been done and dusted since June, and actually Wolfsburg ended their season with just 1 win and 4, and that was against Schalke way back on the 20th of June. Shakhtar actually scored at least 2 goals in the last 3 matches in the Europa League, and they'll fancy the chances on this one as well. The bookmakers, again, this is just the odds are for this leg only, so it's not to say who will go through or what have you, but for this leg only, Shakhtar Donetsk at 27-20 for the victory, 12-5 is your draw, 19-10 is for Wolfsburg if they're to come out on top on this one. I know I've got the graphics the other way around, but it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. If you want to check out who is actual favourite to go and win the trophy itself, out of these two guys, where are Wolfsburg? Wolfsburg are 66-1, Shakhtar Donetsk are 16-1 to lift the trophy at the end of it, and of course that trophy will guarantee you a spot in the Champions League, boys and girls. I'm going to go with a great turnaround here. There was 3 goals in the first leg. I think there's going to be 3 goals in the second leg. I'm going to give it to Wolfsburg 4-2 in aggregate. I just fancy them. They did kind of end of the season strongly over in the Bundesliga, and I just don't know what to expect from Shakhtar these days. So we'll see. That's why I'm putting my money on. If I put my money on anything, it will be a Wolfsburg victory. So that sets them up nicely to go through to the knockout stages, and they would take on the winner of Frankfurt and Basel. It could be a potential Bundesliga barnstormer, or it could be not. It could be a Central European classic, though. Anyway, heading into this, of course, these two sides did play earlier in the season, or earlier in the campaign. It was a 3-0 win for Basel. Goodness gracious me. Of course, that was the one and only time they've played in recent years, or recent findings. Heading into this, though, it looks like the Swiss season is still ongoing. They're actually still playing it, and Basel's last 3 matches, in fact, they've only won once, and they picked up 2 draws as well. They'll be playing a couple of games prior to this, so they'll be in red hot form, or at least a rich sort of vein of gamesmen. They've been playing a lot. Basically, they've been playing a lot, whereas Frankfurt have not played really since the back end of June. So they got a friendly up against Monaco prior to this, but heading into this, before that, they actually were unbeaten in 4 games, winning 3 and drawing 1. The last defeat was against Bayern in the German Cup, of course. Basel actually kept a clean sheet in the last 4 Europa League matches, and they've also won 6 of the last 7 matches as well, and they'll fancy the chances here with that aggregate lead. The bookmakers' odds on this one, taking place on the 6th of August, will be 7-5 for Basel, 5-2 is your draw, 7-4 is your away win, and that is, in this regard, Frankfurt. Those previous game, who did we just look at? Shakhtar Donetsk will take place on the 5th of August. I did miss that one. Anyway, if you want to take a look at the odds on who's going to be victorious and lift the trophy at the end of the competition in August, well, Basel are actually 25-1 to win it, and Frankfurt are actually 200-1. Long shots. They're not the outside favourites, but they are one of the long-range bad boys. And again, unfortunately, I think Frankfurt will win this game. And again, there was 3 goals in the first leg. I see 3 goals in the second leg, but it's not going to be good enough. Aggregate victory for Basel to take them through to a quarter-final. And it looks like they'll be taking on Wolfsburg, of course. Next up, of course, it's the one-legged affair. It'll be Getafe up against Inter Milan. Now, these two sides, unfortunately, didn't get to play the first game, and they've never played each other before either. So it sets them up nicely. Getafe coming to this in absolute shit form. Of course, they ended their season without a win in 6, of course, picking up 2 draws in the process against Alaves and Osasuna. Meanwhile, Inter Milan still have 1 game left. They take on Atalanta to see who become runners-up over in Serie A. But they're coming to this in a nice bit of form. At least in the past 5 games, they're unbeaten, winning 3 and drawing 2. The draws were against Roma and Fiorentina, but they pick up victories against Spal, Genoa, and Napoli, of course. Heading into this, the bookmakers will probably go with Inter on this one. 20-17 on, red-hot favourites. 5-2 is your draw, 60-5 is your away win for Getafe. Does take place at a neutral venue, I must let you know that, and it does take place on the 5th of August. So of course, it's a one-legged affair, all that kind of jazz, all on the line, and it's going to be a comfortable win in my eyes for Inter Milan, boys and girls, and they will go through as well to the last 8. And who will they take on? Rangers, of course, got it all to do against Bayer Leverkusen after their first-legged affair, which went completely in favour of Bayer Leverkusen. They actually played twice of the recent seasons. One was a friendly, I believe, but back in 2011 it was a 2-0 win for Leverkusen. Bender and Ballack, of course, way back when. But, of course, the 3-1 victory earlier in the campaign back in March. Havertz, Anguares and Bailey on the score sheet for Leverkusen. George Edmondson got the one and only goal for Rangers. It could be massive. However, that was at Ibrox. This one will take place over in Germany. So they'll fancy the chances. Heading into this, though, Rangers will have kicked off their Scottish Premiership campaign. Of course, they've got a tricky game against Aberdeen to kick off their campaign, but they will be focusing, they'll be keeping an eye on this one. And regardless if they do crash out, their Europa League adventures will continue, or the European adventures will continue for the new season very, very soon as well, because they'll be straight back into the action. It's of course, their season has been done and dusted for a while. They've been playing friendlies, and they've been doing okay with those as well, picking up 4 wins out of a possible 4, beating Lyon and Nice along the way, which is very, very nice, of course. Meanwhile, heading into this, Bayer Leverkusen, actually just 2 wins in the past 5 for them after the season has come to a close. They did play in the German Cup final against Bayern München, but they lost. However, prior to that, they were unbeaten. They actually won. They actually lost once the past 4 games, and that was against Hertha Berlin on this one. Of course, the first-legged affair goes in favour of Bayern, and they've got it all to do, Rangers, to get themselves through to the next stage. The bookmakers' odds on this one: 30-8 for Bayer Leverkusen, 3-1 is your draw, 70-4 is your away win. And if you want to see who the favourites are for the trophy, well, Leverkusen are actually third favourites, 13-2 lifted up. And of course, Rangers are long shots with 500-1. To be honest with you, I think Rangers will win this game, but unfortunately, it's not going to be good enough. Bayer Leverkusen will go through 4-3 on aggregate after a 2-1 win at Germany. So they'll step up to the plate, they'll deliver a nice performance, but unfortunately they will go home. That will be end of their Europa League adventures for this year. And to the other half of the draw, of course, LASK from Austria have got it all to do after a monstrous 5-0 demolition by Manchester United, of course, in Austria as well, might I add. This game will take place at Old Trafford behind closed doors. Of course, Manchester United end of the season in pretty good form. When you say pretty good form, 2 wins in the past 5 is not great, but they did win that vital game against Leicester to secure not Europa League football next season. They'll be playing Champions League football next year, but can they end the campaign with a victory, of course, and lifting up the trophy as well? Heading into this, LASK still, I don't know what they're doing. I think their season ended in the start of July. They've been playing a friendly, of course, but they did end the season with 3 defeats on the spin, of course, not looking good. And none of those was the Manchester United defeat. So they've got work to do. Of course, Man United are undefeated in 19 of the last 20 matches in the Europa League. They've also kept a clean sheet in 8 of the last 10 matches as well. So Man United will be red hot favourites for this one, of course, 4-1 on. So you might even rest a few kids on this one and save it for the next batch of games. 92 is your draw, 11-1 for LASK for the victory, just for the game itself. It's not for the a cheeky 1-0 win. 11-1, that's not too bad if you want to put your money in. If you want to take a look at who's the favourite, of course, Man United are actually favourites to lift the trophy, 7-4. And of course, LASK, Linz, 2,501 to win it. No money on that one. Still going to be another smashing performance by Manchester United. I'm going to go with a 4-0 win, which will be a 9-0 aggregate win for them to send them through to the quarter-finals. Who will they take on? Well, they seem to have an easier draw compared to some of the other boys. They're going to take on the winner of Başakşehir from Turkey or Copenhagen, of course, from Denmark. Now, these two sides did play earlier, and of course, it was a 1-0 win. For Başakşehir, Edwin Viskar on score sheet. Of course, these boys knocked out my boys, Mönchengladbach, in the group phase. Anyway, the last few games, of course, heading into this, Copenhagen actually back-to-back wins for them. Before that, though, they were on a nice little losing streak, or without a winless run, should I say. But back-to-back wins against AAB and Norrhalden. Meanwhile, the Turkish campaign, I don't know if it's still going on. I think it might have just come to a close. But Başakşehir, I think they were victorious. I think they actually won the title. Let me confirm that. I think they are. I think they are now the Turkish champions after that season. There's been a lot of money's been pumped into them, of course. Superliga, yeah, the champions. They are the champions. The first ever title, I believe. So congratulations to them, and they are a tough old unit, and I think they're going to cause problems for Manchester United should they go through, and I do expect them to go through here on this one. The bookmakers' odds heading into this. Well, in fact, let's just tell you a bit more about that form there. So Başakşehir, despite becoming champions of Turkey, they have actually only won once the past 3 games. That was against Kayaspor in the middle of the month. Meanwhile, the bookmakers' odds will give it to İstanbul Başakşehir as well. 6-4 for Copenhagen for the victory. 9-4 is your draw, and 9-5 is your away win. So not that much in favour of Başakşehir. But I'm going to go with it myself. I'm probably going to go with the Istanbul Başakşehir title. It's not title, but a victory. 66-1 for Başakşehir to lift it. Meanwhile, Copenhagen are 100-1 to go all out and be victorious. 1-0 after the first leg. Going to go with a 2-0 win. Second leg, which will put them through 3-0. No problems. Into the hat they go. Well, they're already decided, really. And they will take on Manchester United, in my eyes, for a spot in the semis. Goodness gracious me. On the other side of the bracket, we have Olympiacos up against Wolves. Of course, the first leg is evenly poised. 1-1 in the current scenario. Let's take a look at this bad boy then. It does take place over at Molineux, and it will be taking place on the 6th of August. These two sides just played the once in the course of time, and it was that 1-1 draw. The goal scorers on that day was El Arabi for Olympiacos, Pedro Neto on the score sheet for Wolves. Semedo got himself sent off, and he will not be available for Olympiacos on that one. Heading into this, though, Olympiacos just 2 wins in the past 6 games. Meanwhile, Wolves did end the season quite brightly. In fact, scrap that. I'm looking at that the wrong way. Olympiacos are in a rich vein of form, just losing once the past 6 games. Meanwhile, Wolves have only won twice at the past 6 as well. However, you want to narrow those numbers down. It's actually just 1 loss of the past 4 for them, and that was against Chelsea at the back end of the season, 2-0 loss. The bookmakers will go 11-8 on for Wolves for the victory. 14-5 is your draw. 7-2 is your away win. It is over at Molineux. And Wolves are up there. They are actually 4 favourites for the trophy, 8-1 to lift it. Olympiacos are 66-1. And coming into this, even Stevens, it's not bad money if you're I'll take a punt at Olympiacos, but I can't see anything but a Wolves win. 3-1 in the end, which will make them go through 4-2 on aggregate. Who will they face, though, in an evenly poised classic at the end? Sevilla will take on Roma on the final game to wrap up this bad boy. And this one will also take place on the 6th of August, which is a Thursday. These two sides have played each other twice in recent memory. Of course, they didn't play earlier, and those 2 games were friendly, so they don't really matter. But Sevilla did end the La Liga campaign in a very, very good bit of form, winning 5 of the past 6 games, and the other one was a draw against Sociedad. Meanwhile, Roma ended the season quite nicely in Serie A as well, winning 4 of the past 5 games. They do take on Juventus at the end for hopefully a nice barnstorming finish. And again, if they win this, they would also qualify for the Champions League, despite finishing in 5th over in Serie A. Heading into this, Sevilla actually undefeated in 12 of the last 13 matches in the Europa League. They do like this competition. They do like it, and they'll fancy the chances again on the neutral venue as well. So this one will be played on neutral ground because it's a 1-legged affair. The bookmakers on this son of a gun. 11-10 for Sevilla. They are the favourites. 13-5 is your draw. 11-5 is your away win. Sorry, 11-5 is your draw. 13-5 is your away win, which is, in this regard, Roma. Of course, 1-legged affair. I'm going with a 2-1 win for Sevilla. They are actually fifth favourites for this one. And of course, Roma are 16-1 as well to lift the trophy come the end of it in August. And that, my friends, will complete my bracket. And of course, we'll see the back end of Shakhtar Donetsk, Frankfurt, Getafe, Rangers, LASK, Copenhagen, Olympiacos and Roma will set up these lovely looking quarterfinals as the competition cranks up a notch. Wolfsburg will take on Basel. Inter Milan will take on Bayern Leverkusen in a very fruity one as well. On the other side of the bracket, Manchester United will take on Istanbul, Başakşehir and Wolves will take on Sevilla, which potentially could set up a all-English semi-final for a crack at the Europa League. And of course, that would be all in for the Wolves. All in for the Wolves. I'd love to see them make the old Champions League. But that, my friends, is it. Of course, don't forget to stick around for next season. We're going to be doing the Europa League, of course, predictions from the get-go, probably from the qualifying stage where it is really some funky little teams knocking about. But of course, once it gets into the group stages, we'll be doing the prediction league, boys and girls. So make sure you stick around for that. Chance for you to win a t-shirt, a mug, a cap, something like that. I don't know yet, but we're still going to figure it all out. And of course, the best way to keep up to date is smash the old subscribe button. Of course, bang the old little bell while you're at it, and also give the video the thumbs up a little tickle as well while you're at it. And that, my friends, completes my Europa League predictions for where we're at right now. Of course, the games will come to or this round will come to a halt. When will it come to a halt? I think it's around about the bloody hell, I can't see it. Around about the 6th of August is the final games, and then of course we go into the next bracket. So around about the 6th, 7th of August we'll have the next round, which will be the quarterfinals. Again, they're all one and done then, one and done, as we get try to get this competition wrapped up so that they can all take a bit of a breather. But that, my friends, is it. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, bang the thumbs up, bang the subscribe if you're new. Check out the description. Links to my other social media platforms are in there. I'm on Twitter. Smash that follow. Facebook. Give that a little look. And of course, if you want to, you can go that extra mile and go Patreon. Patreon.com/Roverseas. Check it out. Also, check out the website. Yeah, I'm out. Thanks again for watching. Please like, share, and most importantly, hit the subscribe button to keep you bang up to date with all things Blackburn Rovers related, Championship related, football related. We've got it all covered right under one roof. And while I still have you, please be sure to check out some of the old videos scattered along here. I hope.